Hello, you are welcome to Nestele. Today we are discussing the E myth by Michael E. Garber. Michael E. Garber was someone that had gone through the landscape of the entrepreneurial and business mindset of the US and decided to solve a problem. The problem being, why did businesses fold? 80% of the businesses actually fold 1 to 2 years after they open, and it gets worse. Those that even make it past the second year, it gets worse 5 years down the line. So in his exploration, and he's trying to help people to solve this problem, which he did, he discovered something. Simply look at a small business as an already complete organization with a franchise, with a working structure, with everything in place already. Just imagine that as the business already before you start it as a small person or as a small business that it is now. It is easier for it to grow that way, and it is easier for you to manage it properly that way. What that means is that even though it might just be one person or 3 people in a business, you've already factored in things like HR, marketing and sales, customer service, customer relations, all the sectors of businesses. If it's going to be franchised, if somebody else can buy the rights to use this business here, how would they be taken care of? He made it sounds very easy. However, he explained that if you don't do this, businesses tend to fall. He also pointed out that most of the businesses in the US, and I think all over the world, is started by the skilled technician. Who is the skilled technician? Let's say in Nigeria, someone that is very good in fashion, someone that is very good with making clothes, suddenly decides to own a fashion house. It's interesting how the richest fashion designers or the richest people that own the biggest fashion houses are not the fashion designers. The fashion designers work for those people, sometimes in their own name. So why is that? Because there's a business side that needs to be taken care of. Now, he explained that most times someone that is an excellent baker might not have any business starting a bakery. Not initially. Like, the baker needs to learn a lot about running a business before they start to open a bakery. Because the assumption, and everybody does this, everyone will tell you, oh, you're so excellent, your cakes and your meat pies are like the best. So you should open a bakery. Everybody will buy it to sell out all the time. But the thing is that what happens is that the baker tends to start doing everything. So it's like you're managing the books, you're managing people, if you can manage people. You're dealing with the technical stuff, which is baking. You're handling lights, you're handling everything. So it's like a year, maybe not up to, but a few months after, you start to buckle under pressure. And it's interesting. What then happens is that after a while, your service, the quality of the product, which is your baked goods, might even start to drop. Because you're exhausted, you're not doing a fantastic job of juggling these too many glass balls in the air, and you might not be able to meet what is needed of you. You won't be able to meet it. So that is what his theory is. To prove his point, he cited the likes of IBM, how they started, and McDonald's. This is a very popular story. If you don't know anything about it, you can go see the movie The Founder. It's a very popular story. So if you know about this, it's easier for you to understand the idea of a big business being shrunk into a small thing. But he explains that for every step in the business that you take, you have to be willing to learn things like, first of all, it's about the customer. It's not about you. This thing where in the end the business is like you is not a good idea. The business, let it be its own thing. Let the business be its own business, if that's such a thing. Don't allow yourself don't let the business be just like you. So if you have a tendency to delay, the business has a tendency to delay. Does that make any sense? So don't allow that. Let the business have a life of its own, so that you can actually live. Occasionally you can take a break, can take a vacation, and the business doesn't close down. People will be able to work. He talked about hiring. One of the best things about hiring, the best skill in a particular thing might not be what you need. What you need is someone that is better to manage. Someone that is better to manage is easier to teach. Someone that is easier to teach is going to be much better at running your work. The whiz kid that is good at something might likely frustrate your work more than every other thing. You know, so learn to understand that your customer is the more important one. It's not about you than every other thing. So do everything within your power to know everything that you can about your customer. I already talked about hiring and management and people productivity. Do you understand? Learning to work with people. Also being predictable. So if you have a business and every time someone comes to you on end is usually the same service that they get, if you do everything a certain way, let that be the same thing everybody gets. Don't be flip-floppy. You know, let it not be, today is like this, tomorrow is like that. Let it be like that. If somebody was treated a certain way and they loved it today, let them be able to come next time and love it the same way, and so on and so forth. One of the things that makes this book very sticky is his use of stories to explain every single sector of it. And there was a part, I think this was in the beginning, where he talked about everybody has a manager, the technician, and the entrepreneur. I loved that story. It's so memorable to me. He explained that what every business needs is those three parts. And when one person starts a business without paying good attention to those three parts or getting someone to take care of all the other parts for themselves, it starts becoming a problem. Beautifully, this makes the story very memorable. So it's like it's easy for you to remember everything in the book as you go. Honestly, you don't have to agree with everything that this man says in the book. However, there is something to learn. Till date, or even before the book was read, before the book was written, even before the book was written, he had gone around and saved several businesses. And till now, he has written several other books that are very specific to some particular industry. So there's the E-Myth in law, E-Myth in engineering, E-Myth in whatever. So that makes it really nice. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for chilling out with us and enjoy.